Hi everybody, welcome to another edition of your Pac-12 Hoops Preview, along with the former Stanford point guard Drew Schiller. Roxy Bernstein with you. 2 weeks remaining in the regular season of Pac-12 play. And Drew, we finally have some separation atop the Pac-12 conference.
We do, and last week it was Justin Cobbs who was the Pac-12 Player of the Week, and in my opinion, the most deserving winner of the award this entire season. He got the best of his former Minnesota Golden Gopher backcourt mate in DeVoe Joseph, which is surprising considering that Joseph had 33 points against the Bears. But Justin Cobbs, 28 points, 8 assists, 4 steals, and no turnovers, as Cal was able to beat Oregon for the 9th straight time. It was actually a career-high 28 points. And then on Saturday against Oregon State, he has just 10 points, but a career-high 13 assists, the most assists by a Cal player since Jason Kidd had 13 assists.
He was pretty good.
Yeah, he was pretty good back in 1994. So Cal with a huge sweep of the Oregon schools at home, and we'll see if Cal can go on the road this week and stay on pace with Washington for the lead in the Pac-12 conference.
So both Cal and Washington tied atop the conference at 12-3, and then hanging around right behind him, Colorado, who's been perfect at home so far this year. The Buffaloes are just hanging in this race.
They are. They're at 10-4, just 1.5 games behind Cal, but they're going to get a chance to play Cal this week at home, not until Sunday. They got to take care of business against Stanford on Thursday first. But like you said, it's pretty much a 3-team race right now when you look at Cal and Washington at the top, but Colorado creeping right behind them.
Well, let's get to the games for this week. And Thursday night, a big tilt in Boulder as Stanford visits Colorado, 8:30 Mountain Time, 7:30 tip Pacific, national broadcast on FSN. The Stanford Cardinal in desperate need of a win, and Colorado wants to continue their perfect record at the Coors Event Center in Boulder.
Stanford coming off a disappointing loss against Oregon, in which they led by 6 with just over 6 minutes to go until E.J. Singler completely took over the game down the stretch. Colorado coming off of a not very pretty, grinded-out win at Utah, 55-48. Andre Robertson, another double-double, 12 points and 16 rebounds, his 16th double-double of the season. The Buffaloes are trying to avenge a 20-point loss earlier this season at Stanford, in which Andre Robertson surprisingly only had 4 rebounds. So if Colorado wants to be in position for that showdown game with Cal on Sunday, they need to take care of business against Stanford on Thursday night.
Also coming up on Thursday night, a game that tips at 6:30 Mountain Time, 5:30 Pacific from McHale Center in Tucson, USC at Arizona, a game that you can see on Fox Sports Arizona. Also tipping off at 6:30 Mountain, 5:30 Pacific, UCLA at Arizona State, online at foxsportsarizona.com. And then at 7 o'clock Mountain, 6 o'clock Pacific time, California is at Utah. Then the action fast forwards to Saturday. It starts early in Tucson, noon Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific. Arizona hosts UCLA at McHale Center, a game that you can see on CBS as UCLA had a rough loss at St. John's last Saturday, and the Arizona Wildcats trying to recover from a terrific outing, but a tough loss in Seattle to the Huskies.
Well, UCLA got the first meeting between these two teams out at the Honda Center in Anaheim without Josh Smith. It was David and Travis Ware who combined for 34 points in that matchup, and Arizona shot just 3 for 17 from three-point range. So they're going to obviously need to shoot the ball better from the outside if they want to win. But although Arizona lost to Washington last week, which pretty much all but ended their chance to win the regular season crown for back-to-back seasons, they still have a lot to play for. They are the definition of an NCAA tournament bubble team right now, and this is the kind of game at home against UCLA that they really need to win down the stretch here with only 3 games to go in the regular season.
And then a big rivalry game at 5 o'clock from Pullman, Washington, the Apple Cup Part 2. The Washington Huskies travel over to the Palouse to take on Washington State at Friel Court, a game you can see on Root Sports Northwest, and the Huskies will try to stay in first place in the Pac-12.
Well, Washington won the first meeting earlier this season, but it was not easy for them at all. They were down by 10 with just over 12 minutes to go in that game until Terrence Ross absolutely took over. He had 26 points in the second half, but it's always difficult to go over to Pullman, especially when it's a rivalry game. Brock Modem right now leading the conference in scoring at just under 21 points per game. So Washington State is going to try to spoil Washington's chance to win the regular season crown for the first time since 2009.
Also coming up on Saturday, a game that tips off at 6 o'clock Mountain, 5 Pacific time, USC at Arizona State, a game that you can see on Fox Sports Arizona and also Fox Sports Prime Ticket. And then Stanford is at Utah, Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area, 6:30 Mountain Time, 5:30 Pacific. And the final 2 games of the Pac-12 weekend will take place on Sunday. It'll start 3:30 Mountain Time, 2:30 Pacific Time Boulder, FSN national broadcast for California and Colorado, two of the top 3 teams in the league.
Well, this is the biggest game of the week by far in the conference. If Colorado knocks off Stanford on Thursday, they're going to go into that game with Cal, at best, just 1 game behind the Bears in the loss column with a chance to win and get into a tie for first place should Washington lose at Washington State. So a huge opportunity for Colorado. In the first game between these two teams, Jorge Gutierrez, Alan Crabb, and Justin Cobbs combined for 7 for 35 from the field, but Cal was able to still grind out the win despite the fact they were trailing by 7 at halftime. So Tad Boyle has done an unbelievable job with this team. Colorado was picked to finish 10th in the preseason media poll, and here in the final 2 weeks of the season, they're right in contention to win the regular season crown.
And the final game of the weekend is in Corvallis, 4:30 tip on Sunday, FSN national broadcast for Oregon State, the Civil War Part 2. The Beavers got the first one in Eugene, the Ducks looking for redemption, and also Oregon, a team, Drew, that's really playing well.
Well, Oregon State got 53 second-half points up in Eugene in that first game, 24 of which came from Jared Cunningham, who earned Pac-12 Player of the Week honors. And Oregon State desperately looking for a win. They've lost 4 in a row, but like you said, Oregon, they're still playing for a top 4 seed in the Pac-12 tournament and a first-round bye, but they're right on the NCAA tournament bubble as well. They're one of the first 4 teams out right now, according to Joe Lunardi. So still a lot to play for the Ducks as they go across to Corvallis for a chance to really kind of ruin Oregon State's season because they're in desperate need of a win.
Well, a huge Pac-12 weekend starts Thursday and Sunday as we all head towards Staples Center and the Pac-12 tournament March 7th through 10th. For Drew Schiller, Roxy Bernstein, thanking you for tuning in to another edition of Pac-12 Hoops.